Alright, what's up everyone? As you can see by the setup behind me, we've got a bit of a different type of video for you today. I've mentioned for a while now, I've been to do a big kind of a clear out, get some stuff sold, get some money in to kind of pay off the car, all that sort of stuff. So today I'm just kind of doing a little bit of like cleaning, testing, listening and stuff like that. So just thought I'd record it anyway, whether we'll do it as a standalone video or not, or whether we'll kind of put it into the next big game hunting video, I don't know, but just thought it'd be a bit of fun to turn the camera on and kind of talk you through my process and show you what I'm doing. So I'm just about to kind of clean up and take some photos of a few Nintendo 64 carts. So I'm going to switch the camera around here and just kind of let you have a little look at the setup and how we go about kind of picturing and listing all these things when we decide to move a few bits on. Alright, so I haven't had a chance to kind of tidy up the game room yet, so let's just get it out of the way. Let's just look at all the stuff on the floor. There's my slippers, there's some sort of a game lunch over there where stuff is falling down. As if those shells are in bits, we're not even going to talk about what happens over here with all the leads and stuff like that. But anyway, now it's out of the way in case the stuff accidentally gets into frame. So I am going to be doing some Nintendo 64 games. This is just a cheap light box that I picked up on like Amazon or somewhere like that for, I don't know, I think it was like 15 quid just to kind of get us going. But for the likes of carts and stuff like that, it's absolutely perfect. I just use a couple of these little display stands that I got from Temu. We put the card in there just so people kind of, you know, if they want to do a bit of research, you know, if they're not really sure if they can trust me as a seller or not, even though I've got good feedback, the card is there so people can see that I'm legit, that, you know, I've got all the Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff. And here we've got a few little cleaning bits in case you need to tidy things up. Just, you know, cotton buds or Q-tips as they call them in America. A few cotton pads, likes of sort of air dusters, contact cleaner, you know, vinegar if we need to clean any contacts and stuff like that. And then this is like nail polish remover, which is great if you have any sort of, could probably try and find an example, like up here on these old controllers, you get kind of a bit of sticky residue and stuff on the plastic. That's perfect for getting rid of that. I do have a bottle of Goo Gone here somewhere, which I use for getting sort of labels and stuff off of. I don't think I need to really do it with any of these. No, but if I need to remove any kind of price stickers and stuff like that, the Goo Gone does the job. But yeah, this is just as a very basic setup. This kind of does the trick for me. I should probably do a bit of cleaning on this Turok cart actually, so bear with me for a moment. So I'll just put this inside the light box while I do this. So yeah, as I said, if we had any sort of sticker residue, we'd normally use the Goo Gone. I don't really like using wet wipes too much, so what I normally do is I kind of take one of these cotton pads. As long as there's no sort of ridges or stuff where kind of bits of cotton are going to get caught in there. I'm just going to use like a little bit of, it kind of feels a tiny bit sticky on the cart there, so we're just going to apply a tiny bit of this nail polish stuff. Not much because we don't want to damage any stickers and stuff like that, so just a very little amount that we're going to just use over the kind of parts of the cart here. And when we do that, you can kind of see straight away, I'll just rub it over a little tiny bit on the dry side there. Now, we're going to do this side here, and hopefully you'll be able to see in front of you the difference that makes straight away. And if it's not obvious, that's just from giving it a wipe with the pad there. So what I normally like to do as well, I get a bit of this sort of contact cleaner and just spray it inside there on the cart, and then we're going to get some Q-tips. I'm messing cotton buds. Again, a lot of people would use isopropyl alcohol for this sort of thing, but it's actually quite difficult to get here. I think the only place I've seen it is like a bottle on Amazon for $14.95 or something like that. So we're just going to give these a little clean here. I'm going to test all these carts as well to make sure they work anyway. So if after I've taken the photograph and kind of cleaned them up a little bit, we'll pop them in the N64, or if we've any other issues, we'll go ahead and open up the board. We might just do it with one of the cheaper ones here, maybe just to kind of show you the process of opening up the board and just cleaning sort of some of the contacts and that in there as well. But for now, I think that's going to be good enough. Let's turn yours back. There's the Turok carton there, and I am literally just going to take some pictures on the phone. I'll fix our little logo there. So we're not selling high-end Nintendo 64 games or anything like that, so I'm not really overly worried about doing the perfect picture, but let's just get it in frame there. What I want to do is as well, if we can get these a bit closer, we can kind of cut out the outside of the light box and kind of have just the white. That should do it there. Now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take that picture and we're just going to do a little bit of, we just put it down there, it's a bit easier to see. We're going to do a bit of cropping and just kind of cut out the sides of the bag and that there if we can. Again, not worried about it being too perfect because we're not selling like high-end things. And there we go. So there's a nice picture of the Turok cart. It's with the logo in the background. Don't really think we need to do too much in terms of the back, but you look, some people do like to ask for more photos, so it's probably easier just to have them there ready to go in case they ask. And we will, I'm not doing that in frame the best, but there we go, there's a picture of the back. And again, we'll just do like a little crop in here. There we go. Again, that might be up in the corner there, but look, we don't mind. Once the main picture kind of looks clean with the white and stuff like that. And that'll be enough for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pop the cart in very quickly, test it out, make sure it's working, and then we'll go ahead and get it listed and show you how we go through that process as well. Oh, my patience is gone already. I had a little light set up here and I reached over to kind of grab it after recording that little bit. Oh, I leaned on the shelf. I should know better. I put these shelves up in this game room. I know how treacherous they are. Look at this. This one here is barely, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but those back two little things there, it's not even sitting on it. It's like it's hovering. I know this, it's that long since I've moved stuff around I forgot, and I literally just, I barely even put any weight on the bloody shelf, and look. Absolute disaster. There's like 3 consoles and a few controllers in there, and it's getting minced underneath that shelf. So yeah, we'll deal with this first, and then we'll get on with the testing phase, but the joys of it. I have no idea what this angle is showing. I might be able to get me a bit, show half my arse anyway. It'll do the job for now. There's stuff everywhere. Look, I've capture cards that I don't even use. I mentioned that recently about like kind of doing some streaming or stuff like that eventually, but it's all set up there ready to go. If I decide to just randomly pop it in and have a go of it one day, it's covered in dust. Fuck, game room's a disgrace. Yeah, look, as long as I don't actually touch that or lean it too heavy, that should be safe for now. So what I'm here is get our N64 controller out. And you know what? Let's plug our Turok game in as well. So this is probably one of the more sturdy shells anyway, so we should be good. Let's get this pushed back in. Actually, feckin' Wii U fell down as well, look. Jeez, that needs a dusting as well anyway. That's what days like this are for. We do our sort of bits of maintenance and stuff like that. What in the f*** is this? Some sort of wireless phone charger just randomly falling off the shelf as well. Now, alright, so we're not going to go too crazy here, but I have all the consoles, TVs and stuff here on just one sort of smart plug, so let's get that turned on. Let's get the telly turned on. And for those of you who haven't seen one of my sort of game room tours, I have all the consoles along here hooked up to this sort of, I don't know if it's RCA, what the word of it, like a switcher box. So in order, I've got like console 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so I know to find them along here. So console, actually, funny enough, console 2 is already pressed, so obviously the N64 was the last one I was using. And I think it's AV1, we'll find out now in a second. Maybe it's AV2. This is not a good start. Nope. Let's try that again. Okay, so not a good start. I know you're not supposed to do it, but childhood logic. There is scientific proof right now that blowing on the cart makes it work. Undeniable scientific proof. Right, anyway. Let's get the controller. Jesus Christ, I'm making this so much harder for myself by filming. I could probably just put it on the tripod again, but you look. Let me see. Let's put the camera down. I don't think it's going to sit here, but we'll try. There we go. We'll leave it there momentarily. Put a bit of volume in here so you can hear what's going on. Generally, when it comes to testing, like that's going to be in the way, carts and stuff like that, I don't kind of spend long on it. I just kind of go through the first minute or two, make sure everything looks like it should be working as much as expansion pack found. I do have an expansion pack. Actually, is this an expansion pack game? I wouldn't have known that. I'd better look that up and declare it on the listing in case anyone buys it and it's not working and they start sending it back. single. So let's go, new game. Rumble pack compatible. I have my rumble pack in there. We don't need to watch this, although I don't think we have a choice. We'll say no more. I think I know why this game was so popular back in the day. Alright, we're finally in here. That was painful, but anyway. Yeah, so all weapons choices, all that sort of stuff. Man, I forget how weird N64 controls were. There you go. Oop. Can you climb up the thing now? Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm probably going to drown here. Maybe there's a way up over here somewhere, or maybe up this little ramp here. Look, up you go. Will you go up the ramp to a rock? Anyway, I'm going to just assume this is user error, so everything looks good. Game is playing fine. It stayed on a few minutes. I think we're going to call that good to go, and we're going to move on to another cart then after that. Anyway, so we've got F1 World Grand Prix. Not that anyone will be sending this back if it doesn't work, because I'll probably only be selling it for a few quid, but sure, look, this is... Oh, that's not coming on either. Again, blowing into the cart. Scientific proof. Here's the we can skip this one. Go around. I don't have a clue if I'm in the frame or not. I'm probably miles away from it. So look, you don't need to see me. Yeah, let me flick through everything all right. Exhibition. I'm going into way more detail. Pearl Michael. I don't think I've actually ever played this game on the Nintendo 64. And I used to like old Formula 1 as well. I used to love old Nigel Mansell on the SNES. That's probably the only Formula 1 game I played, to be honest, but... Alright, we don't need this big build up, let's just go. If you start, press A, perfect. I wonder if it was like Mario Kart where they do it on 2, the way boost. Oh wow, this is... Why is he so slow? I'm literally losing like... Oh Jesus, I'm against the wall. Oh, here. Fucking hell. Here we go, a bit of a stray here now, let's go. Get by these two lads, look. Arrow.
Just ahead. The car straight behind you.
Yeah, we'll take a shortcut across the grass there, that's grand. Oh, I'm getting the hang of it here now a bit. Get out of my way. Get up. There we go, across the grass again, look. Protecting my position, nothing wrong with that. Oh, 8 seconds ahead, right. Don't worry about your man behind me, he won't be going anywhere. Oh, that 8 second gap is gone, look at this. 3 laps? I thought it was like 72. Jesus. This is the only thing about testing games, you get way too into them. This actually isn't a bad little Formula 1 game, and this is so cheap on the N64. There must be millions of them made. I doubt it's the, you know, I doubt it's anything the game is doing wrong as to why I'm all over the shop here. This is definitely like a, you know, a user. Oh Jesus. Okay, look. We'll leave it. We'll be here all day. We all know for a fact if I'd have kept playing, I would have just won the race anyway, so we don't need to prove anything. So we'll knock that one off. And Turok is forward, so we move that over there. You don't need to see me testing all these games. I'm going to run the last couple here now, and then we will kind of jump forward to getting them listed and stuff like that, and we go through that process then. Right, so the N64 games that I just photographed, I'm going to list on Vinted today. So I haven't actually listed anything on Vinted yet. I've bought probably 7 or 8 bits at this stage. Actually, funny enough, Mrs. Retro Games Ireland has used that and sold a couple of dresses, so I kind of half remember going through the process with her, but look, we're logged in. We've got the sell button down here. Let's go upload photos, and full access to library. And here's some of the pictures that have been taken just here. So we're going to go with the Turok first, I think. So we picked that one and that one. There are 2 images that we took and we cropped. We're going to select done. Title, we're just going to call it Turok 2. Obviously autocorrect is kicked in there, or else I just can't type. Turok 2, what's the bloody thing called? Oh, I'll get it in a second anyway, you'll get the idea. Nintendo 64. We won't go too crazy with the description, we'll just say cart only, in nice condition, fully tested and working. Like I said, we don't need to go into too much more detail. We've got a couple of pictures there. We've stated that it's tested and working. We go category. Let's look electronics, video games and consoles, games. Perfect. Platform, Nintendo 64. Content rating, I don't know. I think it's like 18 or something like that. I think it has U.S.K 18 in it, so we'll just put that on it to be safe anyway. Condition. So, you know, obviously this is very important because people do kind of look at condition a lot. Obviously they can see in things. So new with tags obviously is brand new, never used, never opened, still sealed. New without tags will be something that's been unsealed but still hasn't been used. Very good. Lightly used item that may have slight imperfections but still looks great. Includes photos with and descriptions of any flaws in your listing. So good. A used item that may show imperfections and signs of wear. Include photos. Now generally I'm going to go for good because unless something's absolutely immaculate, people can be quite fussy out there. I don't want to be dealing with returns and stuff like that. So price, I actually haven't looked up how much I'm going to charge for it yet. We'll figure that out in a minute. Parcel size, small items that will fit in a large envelope. This is important here as well because obviously you don't pay for, you know, shipping, you don't pay commission or anything like that on Vinted, but the person buying it will have to pay for the shipping label, and then you'll put the shipping label on. So obviously if you sort of under declare the size of the parcel, someone might only pay £3 for a shipping label that is nowhere near sufficient enough to get the thing posted off. You're just giving yourself hassle. So if you're not sure, go a little bit higher. You know, at the end of the day, it's up to the buyer if they want to pay that little bit more for shipping. And you can always kind of negotiate prices and stuff like that. If you feel like you've gone a bit high, you can kind of knock €1 or €2 off it. You know, there's ways around it. But anyway, we're happy with that. Price wise, let's just have a quick look at price charting. I don't know, everyone does it a bit different. Like I kind of look at price charting because that gives you obviously recent eBay sells, but I do kind of like having a little look at CEX because if I didn't want to sell this, I'd bring it up to CEX. Is the way I look at it. Sorry, that's boxed. And just get some trade credit for it. So generally when I'm kind of selling, even locally and stuff like that, I might look at this and go, right, CEX sell it for £10. I'm going to get 3 in a voucher, 2 for cash. I might just put it up for a £5 and hopefully someone pays that. If not, I'll happily take an offer somewhere between that 3 and 5. Again, you're kind of giving yourself the extra money there. You know, you're paying for, like, you know, your envelopes, you've the time of bringing it over to the post office, you've sort of, you know, taken images and stuff like that. So I think €5 is a fair price to ask for that. Someone would probably ask for more maybe and hopefully get something towards that, but we're trying to get things out of here. We're going to, you know, trying to get things moving quick, and we probably will make a bit more maybe on the Wipeout and the Banjo-Kazooie. So I think at that we're going to go with the €5. So there we go, €5. And like I said, if I've underpriced it, so be it. But bump item, we're not interested in doing anything like that. So once again, Turok 2, Nintendo 64, card only, in nice condition, fully tested and working. USK 18 to be safe, good condition. Price €5, upload. and that's it. So that's our item listed. So we're literally just going to hit list another, list another, list another. We're going to get all these carts up there, and then we've kind of gotten a head start in the listing. But we have a few other bits around the room here that we're going to kind of get cleaned up and tested and stuff like that. So we'll jump back in a while. We'll look at all the stuff we've managed to get listed today, and then we'll kind of have a little look at what we're going to do then after that. All right, so we've got a few bits listed there. I think we've got 6 games in total. I'll have to kind of review it because obviously it sort of crops the pictures itself, as you can see. But when you click into it, the full picture's there. So I don't know, we'll have a little look at that in a little while maybe and see. And a couple of these I think I've kind of put not the wrong pictures in, they are the right ones, but just ones that I haven't had a chance to crop and stuff like that. So don't forget to just be, like, it's only a 350 game, so I'm not going to worry about it too much, but just something to keep an eye out for if you're trying to look for good money. You really want to have like a really sort of eye-catching decent listing. But we were just testing this Tetrasphere cart, and I actually couldn't get it to run at all. Even the blown method didn't work, which means there's something seriously wrong in here. But I was kind of using the, I don't know if I can find it, if I got rid of it. Oh yeah, I was kind of cleaning the pins, whatever you want to call them, and as you can see they were quite dirty. So what we're going to do is we're going to just open the cart up here, kind of show you very quickly how we go about doing that. Again, not doing anything too crazy, just a bit of, you know, sort of contact cleaner and stuff like that. Try and give it a little bit of wipe down, see if that helps kind of get it going. But yeah, just had to be film that little process here now. So bear with me, we'll get the camera set up on a little tripod here. We'll get our little bits. I think this is the one we need for the N64, and sure, we'll get her opened up and we'll have a look at the inside. Right, so forgive me here, no rhymes or pairs, but we're actually going to kind of make use of the light box here. So there you have the SNES ones there. Which one am I looking for? I think it's this one. That's the big one. Yeah, it's this one here for the N64. So we're literally just removing these 2 bits here. Put it down to make it a bit easier. Yeah. Now, obviously, I'm no electronics expert. This is just how I do things. So, you know, don't listen to me when it comes to taking stuff like this apart. So there's experts out there, but for a very basic, just kind of open it up and have a look inside. We'll go ahead and do that. Obviously, these are really handy if you're kind of buying carts and you're not too sure about the authenticity of them. It's very easy. Just take them off and pop the back off there, and then we have access in here to the board. Obviously is under here, so we just use a little Phillips head screwdriver to get them 2 off, and that's literally it. We have access to the board then, so let's get just a little Phillips head here. Apologies if it gets a bit noisy. And there we go, we're just going to pop that off there. And then we have our board here. So obviously, if you're looking for, you know, authenticity, that sort of thing, there you are, your Nintendo 1996 is what you're looking for. And yeah, this doesn't look too bad. I don't really see any obvious dirt and stuff like that, so what we'll do is we'll just, now again, I'm probably, don't listen to me, I just spray these things. This is just contact cleaner, so if you're wondering what contact cleaner I use, I just use this WD-40 fast drying contact cleaner. So they just kind of spray it on the electronic board and it sort of clears off any dust and stuff like that. So I don't know, sometimes even something like that will make a difference. As you can see, the pins are actually fairly clean there from where we gave them the little bit of the wipe down. So you can see they're quite clean in there, and the board itself looks clean enough. So I might just get a little cotton bud. Again, this is the expert advice, so don't go listening to me. I'm just going to kind of rub along the board where we sprayed it with the contact cleaner in case there's any sort of loose dust and stuff like that. Be very gentle here as well, because these can kind of catch on like the little connectors here. Sorry, got a little bit of something off there. So right, so we're just going to pop this back in here. Another little brace. There we go. And then a little plate going over that. And then we're going to pop our screws back in. Pop our cap back on here now as well. All this for Tetrasphere. It better be worth more than bleeding 15 quid in a manky box. Alright, so moment of truth. We're going to pop it in here. See if that gets going. And there we go. So we'll just let it go for a minute or two, make sure we get the game running, buttons and stuff, everything kind of responds the way it should. But yeah, that's a fairly successful I wouldn't call it a surgery or anything like that now, because we literally just took a couple of screws out. But you know, don't give up on your cars if they don't seem to be turning on. Sometimes just giving them a little kind of a little contact cleaning the centre and giving them a little bit of clean up does the job. So
few minutes later,
absolutely no idea what's supposed to be going on here, and I actually couldn't even be arsed figuring it out, to be honest with you. I'm obviously doing something wrong, and I'll put it here or something. Yeah, brain game, not for me. It's working. Let's sell it and move on.
the next day.
Right, so just finished recording the last video. I mentioned that we probably would start doing a tidy up, so I'm not going to go full on into the whole game room. Obviously there's shelves and stuff here that need to be reorganised. We'll kind of do that collab video with Adam. We'll get a few bits shifted out of here. We'll find a few more things to list on Vinted and stuff like that, and then we have a bit more space. We might do like a full-on game room tidy, rearrange things properly, and then we're well overdue game room tour 2025. So all this will probably lead into that, but just wanted to give you a quick look at the areas we're probably going to be concentrating on today. As I said, this stuff will remain untouched for now. I'm dying to get into this shrine. The problem is the only way to reorganise is to take everything down. And as you can see, I don't exactly have a load of floor space here. This is what I'm dealing with. Like, I've got, you know, loose carts. Here's the stuff that Nicholas gave me, all the class sort of NTSCJ, SNES carts and stuff like that. I have to find somewhere nice to kind of display them. We've got drawers here with, I don't know, random stuff in it. This is just lights that I've never used that I bought, but we've got, you know, consoles. I mentioned we had an extra Wii down here. There it is there. A couple of PS2s. I've absolutely no idea what's in here. Oh yeah, this is like a really old school Discman that was in the box that Jason gave me last year. Like, I mean, I literally still have to go through stuff that he gave me. Like, here's the corner here. There's like stuff literally sitting there waiting to go down. Just ignore the empty candles there, the ones that we've kind of been using in the game room for the last while, and there's still some wax in them because some of them burned wonky. So I'm keeping them for a little project for Mrs. Retro Games Ireland to do, where we kind of bought the wicks and stuff like that. Anyway, we're going off talking about something completely random already. I think I showed those. They were another Vinted grab. That Nintendo Labo I picked up for £10 in a charity shop a while ago. Absolutely no idea why I bought that, because yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Mario Jigsaw, we must actually see if the 1,000 pieces are in that and do it up and maybe stick it to a board or something. But anyway, again, going off topic, we're going to stick with organising. We've got the Wii games here, and we actually do have like a little bit of space down there. We've got, you know, Wii U and GameCube kind of all sort of mixed in with some Switch and some DS stuff that's sitting there. So we kind of have a bit of overflow down here as well on the bottom. We've got like PS3, PS4, but they kind of tie in with, you know, what's around here. But this is the big problem. Obviously the top two shelves there are fine. That's PS1. As you can see, we kind of had it all organised with just, you know, games in behind, but the overflow is real here. We've got stuff everywhere. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to find room today to sort of completely rearrange everything, because I don't know where all the stuff's going to go. So yeah, I don't know whether I should maybe wait and get an extra shelf, because I have this chair here as well. We're kind of, there's a reason that chair is still here, but that's going to move fairly soon, so that'll give us a bit more room for one more kind of display stand. So yeah, I'm kind of reluctant to take all this stuff down, because if I do, I'm not sure where it's going to go, but at the same time I kind of want it organised. I think what I'll do is I can go ahead and start it. I think I can get the Wii U, GameCube stuff here. We might get a bit more room on this shelf if we do that. And you know what, worst case scenario, we have a bit of a lip down here. I might even just do a row of games just along the floor here, just one kind of row. Or maybe we can double up the PS2 or something like that. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We badly need to get this organised, so we're gonna do that. As I said, I'll probably time lapse. I think what will happen is I'll probably have to do it in phases. So obviously the games here are all alphabetized, so I'll kind of have a count of how many Wii games are sitting here waiting to kind of go into that organisation system. Look, there's a pile in there as well. And we'll kind of shuffle stuff down accordingly, and we'll try, and this is probably going to all get filled out with Wii, to be honest. I don't know. Look, we'll get cracking on it. We'll see what happens. Either way, we're going to have to get all this sorted out, because I literally don't even have room to just throw shit on the shelf anymore. It's absolutely rammed. So we're going to put you up on the tripod here now. So we're going to set it into like a little time-lapsey mode. And by the time we come back to you, it's going to be looking nice and actually probably not, you know me, I'll probably jump in 6 times with like a little commentary and stuff like that. But yeah, for now, let's put it over here. There we go. We're going to put a little time lapse on it, as I said, and we'll give you a little update when we have something to update on. Just nearly out of breath just from doing that, but that's the Wii games all alphabetized now, so everything that we have, bar, you know, a few bits that are in the shrines and stuff like that, is along here. So looking a lot better, a lot cleaner. We didn't really make much space though. By the time we filled it out, like, we do have this shelf down the bottom, but like, we've got all these leads and stuff in front of it, so I don't think kind of squeezing a few games over here to over there is going to make any bit of a difference. So I don't know what we're going to do here, but we're just going to start pulling stuff off it now, and let's just see what happens. So back to the tripod, bitches. Right, we're getting there. We've got all the PlayStation games up on the shelf and organised here. Still have to kind of do a little job on the Nintendo bookcase, but basically left PS1 as it was, got all the PS2 stuff kind of shuffled down and reorganised. And what I did here was the PS3 is at the back here, and then kind of just put the PSP stuff in front of it because we don't have an awful lot of it, but that's going to be double stacked in there as well. So we have a little look in here. You'll see the kind of the PS3 run along there, and then that's our PSP little selection there. And then we kind of continued from there to here alphabetically and then ran it down. And what I did was, have a few PS4 there, and then the rest of the PS4 games are just going to run along here. Just for now, is that until we get like another little bookcase or something that we're going to put up there. So very quickly going to just reorganise, reshuffle the Nintendo stuff here, figure out what from here is going to go back up on the bookcase, because all of this came from up there. We'll probably just randomly put it back up there and leave some stuff there, maybe put a few bits away in boxes that we don't really need to be displaying at the moment, and then we just need to, yeah, probably have a bit more to do than I thought, but at least if we can get kind of this just tidied up, get a few maybe bits into the drawers and stuff like that there, I think I'll be happy enough with that for now. That'll kind of tide this over until we kind of do a little bit more of a clear out and create a bit more space. But yeah, it's starting to look pretty good in the corner here. I forgot to set the time lapse up for that, but it only took a few minutes anyway. So we've got our GameCube here now, so we're kind of starting to see a bit of order. We've got like Wii running down here, over to GameCube, which then runs into Wii U here, and then we've kind of got Switch, some DS, and then there's a little bit of PlayStation overflow here that we'll sort out when we get another shelf. But I think that's looking pretty good. Like I said, we'll just get some of these things back up onto the display shelf there now, and then we might just do a little tidy up here and tackle this another day, because this has been going on for a while. I need to start editing this next video. I've another side project that I need to edit away on, so we are running out of time in the day. But yeah, if we can get some stuff back up here and have this looking nice and just tidy up a little bit on the floor, I think that'll be a pretty good day's work. But I don't think there's anything else too pressing that we need to sort out. Well, we'll talk about that another day. Pretty much put most of the stuff back up, but it's just nice not to have piles of games sticking out, and it's a bit kind of neater in the display, and we've got some nice little retro goodies kind of scattered around there. So that's looking pretty well. We'll have to get the lights on later on when it gets a bit dark and see how that looks with all the displays and stuff turned on. But yeah, I'm pretty happy to leave it there for now, and as I said, we'll get tackling all this stuff here and that corner then another day. So a few days after the tidy up, Adam from Replay Games popped over, recorded loads of footage, but it's basically us just talking absolute shite about games and sort of showing them around the game room. So I'm going to just pile in a few more time lapses here, as if he's having had enough of those in this video already. I was happy to get rid of some stuff, he was happy to get some inventory for the upcoming gaming market, so a win-win for both of us there. But it's been a long enough video as it is. We're going to leave it at that for this one. We'll be back next week with a full-on proper game hunting video, so looking forward to sharing that one with you. See you next week. Thanks for checking this one out, and yeah, talk to you all soon. Cheers.